Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad al-Fatih al-Khatim wa ala Ali Haqqadam al-Azim. Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praises are due to the Almighty Allah, the Lord of the universe, the most beneficent, the most merciful, the sovereign of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and from you alone we employ help. Guide us to straight path, the path of those whom you have favored, neither of those who have incurred your wrath, nor of those who have gone astray. O Allah, maintain your praise persistently upon our chief and master Muhammad, the key to that which is closed, the seal to that which is past, the upholder of the truth by means of truth, the proper guide to your straight path, and upon his family according to his eminence and his great honor. Assalamu alaikum once again. Good afternoon, everyone. I am back on my series of lectures on the topic, the Divine Mandate series. If you can remember, in the last session, we were examining the story of Prophet Joseph and his 11 brothers. How Joseph had a dream and how he narrated the dream to his father in quest of interpretation of the dream, and how the father warned him against revealing such dream to his brothers, and how they got wind of what transpired between Joseph and their father, and how they eventually summoned a meeting so as to identify the common problem they had with regard to Joseph and his brother. First and foremost, during their meeting, the person that spoke first identified the problem so eloquently. What he said was, the Almighty Allah narrated to us that إِذْ قَالُوا لَيُوسُفُ وَأَخُوهُ أَحَبُّ إِلَىٰ أَبِينَا مِنَّا وَنَحْنُ أُصْبَةٌ إِنَّ أَبَانَا لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. The problem we have here is that Joseph and his brother Benjamin are dearer to our father than us, while we are the majority. And for him to prefer 2 children over 10, that means he must have been terribly misled. He must have been misguided. He must have fallen into an obvious misguidance. So, every meeting has a purpose. The purpose is to identify a problem and then proffer a solution. And having identified the problem, now the solution. So the next person that spoke said, "Uqtulu Yusufa awitrahu ardan yakhlu lakum wajhu abikum wa takunu min ba'dihi qauman salihin." Kill Joseph, said the next person. Awitrahu ardan, or take him away and throw him somewhere far away from the environment of our father. Throw him, take him to a strange land. So that you may have the monopoly of the countenance of your father. So that thereafter you can turn to the most, you must turn to the most righteous person that you can You can turn to the most righteous person that you can ever be, that for him to forgive you. وَجَعَبِيكُمْ وَتَكُونُوا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ قَوْمًا صَالِحِينَ. So, and قال قائل منهم لا تقتلوا يوسف. A third person said, for me, I think this is not the way to go about this. لا تقتلوا يوسف. Don't kill Joseph. وَأَلْقُوهُ فِي غَيَابَاتِ الْجِبِّ. Instead, go and throw him into a well. He'll take it to so that some travelers might come across him and pick him from the well and take him along. If at all you are bent on executing anything with regard to him, the worst you should do is to take him away and throw him into a well. يلتقط بعض السيارة إن كنتم فاعلين, so that some travelers might pick him, and some travelers might pick him in kuntum fa'ilin, if at all you are bent on doing anything. Then, having arrived at a solution that is regarded by all as the most ideal, that they shouldn't kill him, first and foremost, they should take him away, yes, but they should throw him into a well so that some travelers might pick him along and take him somewhere, and that's all. مَا لَكَ لَا تَأْمَنَّ عَلَى يُوسُفَ. So they decided to approach the father. They approached Prophet Jacob and asked him, مَا لَكَ لَا تَأْمَنَّ عَلَى يُوسُفَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَنَاصِحُونَ. That why won't you entrust us with Joseph so that we can give him a good counseling as elderly brothers? أرسله معنا غدا يرتعي ويلعب وإنا له لحافظون. Send him along with us tomorrow as we are going, so that he can go along with us. يرتعي ويلعب وإنا له لحافظون. As we are rearing our flocks, he will go along with us, and he may play around as a young lad. And we have promised you that we are going to take a very good care of him. He is safe in our hands. You have no cause to worry. So, despite all these assurances, the old father, he still did not feel comfortable letting Joseph to go along with them. In fact, he expressed his fears genuinely that inni la yahzunni an tazhabu bi wa akhafu an yakulahu ad-dib. It will cause me a lot of sadness that you will go with him. And I'm afraid he might be devoured by some wolf. وَأَنْتُمْ عَنْهُ غَافِلُونَ. While you are engaged somewhere while you are not mindful of him when this would happen to him. Then they assured him further by saying, لَإِنْ أَكَلَهُ الذِّئْبُ وَنَحْنُ أُصْبَةٌ إِنَّا إِذًا لَخَاسِرُونَ. For a wolf to come and devour him in our presence, while as many as we are, that means we have lost it all. Of what use is our number? Of what use is our presence if you allow our brother to be devoured by some wolf before our very eyes? That means we have lost it all. Agreed to their suggestion that they should go with him. And when they left, then they decided to throw him into the well, and they did. He was miraculously saved by the Almighty Allah. Some rock was miraculously raised for him to fall on, so that he was not, he did not sink in the water of the well. And he stopped there. And they slaughtered one of the cattle, and they poured the blood on the shirt of Joseph. They came back in the night claiming that he was devoured by a wolf, confirming the fears of their father, because that was exactly what he feared. وَأَخَافُ أَنْ يَأْكُلَ الذِّئْبُ فَأَكَلَهُ الذِّئْبُ. And they came very late in the night. Scholars said there were quite a number of reasons why they decided to come in the night. First and foremost, for them to give him a feeling that they spent hours looking for their brother before they found out that he was devoured by a wolf. Secondly, because they were so much worried, they stood there crying, at a loss to know how to approach their father with this tragic story. And that is why they came very late in the night. And another thing, which is the most important, if they came in the night, in the darkness of the night, it might be very difficult to verify whether it is truly the blood of Joseph or the blood of an animal that was on the shirt, because it was in the night. And the night will provide an ample opportunity for all sorts of cover-up. Yet, the old man, the prophet, was able to recognize that the shirt was not torn by the wolf. And that was what gave him some sense of astonishment. He said, "What a wise wolf is this, that it took off the shirt of my son without it tearing it before devouring him." So he wanted to tell them that he understood But that was the best way to tell them. In fact, he even said it all when he said, "Bal sawwalan lakum anfusukum amran, fasabrun jameel, wallahu al-musta'anu ala ma tasifun." That I believe your souls must have misguided you to do something different from what you are claiming. But I will exercise a good patience. Wallahu al-musta'an ala ma tasifun. And it is only the support from the Almighty Allah that I seek, and His intervention with regard to my current situation of grief for the loss of my son. And what they wanted was what turned out to happen, that some travelers came across that well. They sent one of them to search for water for them to drink. In the course of telling him, they will make a lot of money. So that was exactly what happened. And on their way, because it was after 3 days that Joseph was taken out of that well. So on their way, having picked him, they came across his brothers. And they asked them, "Where did you get this boy?" They said, "We picked him from a well." Then they said, "This boy is our slave." So the travelers asked Joseph, "Is it true that you are their slave?" Joseph said in his mind that if I denied it, they might forcefully or forcibly take me from them and kill me. So for my personal safety, let me agree that I am their slave. He said, "Yes, I am their slave." Then the traveler said, "Then in that case, why won't you just sell him to us?" And that's exactly what they did. وَشَرَوْهُ بِثَمَنٍ بَخْسٍ دَرَاهِمَ مَعْدُودَةٍ وَكَانُوا فِيهِ مِنَ الزَّاهِدِينَ. They sell him, that is, they bartered him with some few silver coins, بِثَمَنٍ بَخْسٍ دَرَاهِمَ مَعْدُودَةٍ وَكَانُوا فِيهِ مِنَ الزَّاهِدِينَ. In fact, they did not even spend the money. They threw away the money because they didn't want to spend the money that they sold their brother in, the money they collected in selling their brother. So that was what facilitated the journey of Joseph in the kingdom of Egypt. He was taken there and sold to the prime minister of Egypt, and he took him to his wife. And it happened that the wife couldn't bear him a child. So she suggested to her husband that, "Why won't we adopt him as our son?" Asa an yanfa ana aure take zo waladan. Wa qala allazi shara bi salimati akli waswa. Asa an yanfa ana aure take zo waladan. The person that bought him from Egypt told his wife that you should give him, that you should play hostess to him. That is, you should be very kind to him, and he may be of great benefit to us if we adopt him as our son. And that was how Prophet Joseph was taken in by that man and stayed with that woman. So inshallah, we are going to stop here. When we come back in the next session, we are going to continue exactly where we stopped. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح والكاتب لك ولا تبدل الحمد لله السلام عليكم. Kai mala wani ya kwafsa wani maka ɗan ba. Ai tun da wasu